4 of the smartest AIs in the world: ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, and DeepSeek. But which one truly comes out on top? Today we're putting them through the ultimate showdown. We'll test them across 9 different categories, including problem solving, image and video generation, fact-checking, analysis, and much more. 9 categories, 1 winner. Hey, I'm Olive, your host here at Versus.com. Let's find out who really rules the AI world. Let's start with our first category, problem solving. We're putting all 4 AIs to the test with 2 real-life challenges to see how they handle them under pressure. The first task is, your phone battery dies in a foreign city where you don't speak the language. You have $10 in cash, no map, and need to reach the central train station in 45 minutes. What's your step-by-step plan? Answer concisely in 5 steps. DeepSeek fires back in just 7 seconds, Grok follows at 11, Gemini needs 21 seconds, and ChatGPT, well, it takes its time, 1 minute and 2 seconds before we get an answer. We'll circle back to those timings in the conclusion, but for now, each AI produces a structured 5-step plan that at least on paper holds up. Now we shake things up a bit. We give the AIs the same question again, this time with all 4 answers, and ask each to judge which response is best. ChatGPT, unsurprisingly, votes for itself. Gemini agrees, ranking ChatGPT's answer first. Grok does the same, and incredibly, even DeepSeek sides with ChatGPT. All 4 models crown ChatGPT as the winner. Finally, let's tally. ChatGPT scores 4 points, Gemini 3, Grok 2, and DeepSeek 1. Now, on to the second problem. You have $400 left after paying rent. You need to cover groceries, transport, and internet. Groceries cost $50 per week, transport $80 per month, internet $60 per month. You also want to save for a $200 event next month. How do you budget? This one's trickier. It tests reasoning rather than structure. ChatGPT, Grok, and DeepSeek all land on almost the same solution. Put aside $60 for the event and save more next month. The flaw though, the event is next month. Too late to fix the shortfall. Only Gemini catches that, suggesting cutting grocery costs by $15 per week through discount shopping, strict meal planning, and buying the cheapest staples. Basically, pasta on repeat, but hey, at least you'll make it to the event. That's why Gemini takes the win here. It's the only one that actually adapts to the scenario instead of just echoing the math. Final score for this round is Gemini 4 points, ChatGPT and Grok tied at 3, and DeepSeek with 2. Next, we're testing how well the AIs handle image generation. So here's the first prompt. Generate a real image of the Mona Lisa as a frustrated street protester in Times Square, holding a cardboard sign that says, "Make Florence Great Again," in bold red letters. DeepSeek is out immediately since it can't generate images. Grok is the fastest, spitting out 2 images in just 9 seconds. They all follow the prompt well and clearly show Times Square, but Grok's Mona Lisa looks anything but real. It's like a bad Photoshop job. She even has 4 hands and a weirdly cheerful expression. That puts Grok in last place. Gemini's result looks solid overall. Mona Lisa in the middle of a protest, beautifully rendered Times Square, but 3 hands. ChatGPT's image is the most realistic, a natural-looking Mona Lisa, 2 hands, and a convincing Times Square backdrop. So the clear winner here is ChatGPT. For the second prompt, we asked the AIs to generate a photorealistic image of a classroom with a hippie-styled teacher standing beside a chalkboard displaying the full alphabet, each letter decreasing in size, written clearly in chalk. DeepSeek is out once again. Grok's image shows a realistic classroom with handwriting that does look authentic, but the alphabet itself is wrong. The letters F, I, and M are missing, and the bottom line descends into chaos. The teacher looks believable, though adding a piece of chalk in his hand would have made the scene slightly more convincing. Gemini's image doesn't look photorealistic. It feels more stylized and almost animated. The letters are just too perfect, and there's some random extra writing on the board that doesn't belong. Still, the hippie aesthetic logic is strong, and the peace sign on the chalkboard is definitely a nice touch. ChatGPT's image is the most convincing overall. The lighting, classroom setting, and the teacher all feel natural, creating a true photo-like appearance. The only weakness is the handwriting, which looks unrealistically perfect for a real classroom. So here's the scoring. ChatGPT earns 3 points for the best overall result. Gemini and Grok each receive 2 points, and DeepSeek gets 0 once again. Next, we move on to one of the trickier parts of the test, fact-checking. In this round, we tested how well the AIs could fact-check using only their existing knowledge, no internet access allowed. The first question was, in 2018, around how many chickens were killed for meat production? A, 690 million, B, 6.9 billion, C, 69 billion, or D, 690 billion. ChatGPT answered 65 to 70 billion with 85% confidence. Gemini said 65 billion with 90% confidence. Grok went with 69 billion but only 65% confidence. DeepSeek answered 65 billion with 75% confidence. All four gave answers in the same ballpark, differing mainly in confidence levels. The correct answer is 69 billion, which makes Grok the most accurate, even if not the most confident. ChatGPT comes next because its range includes the correct figure, while Gemini and DeepSeek share last place for this question. The second question was, as of 2020, around how much do you need to make annually to be amongst the richest 1% in the world? A, $200,000, B, $75,000, C, $35,000, or D, $15,000. ChatGPT answered $200,000 with 80% confidence. Gemini said $34,000 with 95% confidence. Grok went with $60,000 at 70% confidence. DeepSeek estimated $75,000 to $85,000, also at 70% confidence. The spread here was huge. The correct answer is $35,000, and Gemini hit it almost perfectly, off by just $1,000. Gemini scores 4 points, the others were too far off and received no points for this round. The third question was, as of 2019, about what share of electricity came from fossil fuels in the United States? A, 83%, B, 63%, C, 43%, or D, 23%. ChatGPT answered between 63 and 65%. Gemini said 63%, Grok said 62%, DeepSeek estimated between 60 and 65%. All four were extremely close, but only Gemini nailed the exact figure of 63%. Gemini earns 4 points, while the other three get 3 points each for being nearly correct. That wraps up the fact-checking category. Next, we move on to analysis. In this round, we tested how well the AIs can actually analyze, not just text, but also images and context. We began by showing them a photo of a fridge and asked each one to identify what was inside and then suggest 3 meals based on those ingredients. DeepSeek was eliminated immediately because it can only read and analyze text inside images, not recognize actual objects. ChatGPT, Gemini, and Grok all attempted to identify the fridge's contents. ChatGPT missed 3 items, which is a solid performance. Gemini missed 7 and strangely added oranges and grapefruit that were not present. Grok also missed 3 items like ChatGPT, but then invented a long list of extras including oranges, berries, lemons, broccoli, yogurt, butter, nuts, beans, mayo, pickles, honey, and vinegar, essentially describing an entirely different fridge. When it came to meal suggestions, all 3 offered a similar idea for breakfast: a veggie omelette with fruit on the side, such as grapes or bananas. Grok went further and suggested yogurt with berries, which again were not actually in the fridge. For lunch, ChatGPT recommended a sandwich. Gemini suggested a salad with cooked meat, and Grok proposed a salad with vegetables, nuts, and honey mayo dressing. While this last option sounded good in theory, it required ingredients that simply were not available. For dinner, ChatGPT suggested tortellini with vegetables, a light sauce, and possibly some juice or milk. Gemini proposed stuffed bell peppers with salad. Grok suggested stir-fried vegetables with broccoli and other greens that were not actually in the fridge. Overall, ChatGPT performed the best, recognizing most of the actual items and avoiding being invented ones. Gemini came second, and Grok, despite its detailed descriptions, landed in last place. So after the fridge test, we moved on to a Where's Waldo challenge, inspired by one of my favorite childhood books. Want to play along and see if you can find him faster than the AI? Then just pause the video right here. So, where is he, guys? ChatGPT stated that Waldo was slightly to the right of the center of the image, just below the yellow carousel, standing among the crowd in his red and white striped outfit and holding his walking stick upright. This description sounded very specific, but Waldo was not there, so ChatGPT failed. Gemini claimed Waldo was in the upper right portion of the image, standing to the left of the haunted house and just below the red roller coaster tracks. This was also incorrect. Grok described Waldo as being in the bottom center area, slightly to the left of the center, near a collapsed red and white striped tent, and close to the base of the central carousel. It did sound very convincing, but it was still wrong. DeepSeek, sticking to its strength of text analysis, this is what it said.
Based on the text in the image, Waldo is at Walter Spetavak. The note starts with Bay Walter Spetavak, at Walter Spetavak. And later it says, Ya Ale Walter Spetavak. Yes, all Walter Spetavak, confirming the location.
So yeah, thanks for nothing. In the end, none of the AIs managed to find Waldo, but I did. Did you? He was standing right there, so that concluded the analysis category. Next, we moved on to one of the most hyped topics right now, video generation. Right now, TikTok and Instagram are full of Sora 2 videos, but how good is it really? This is what we're about to find out today. First, we're testing image to video, meaning we turn a single photo into a moving clip. For this test, we use the iconic photo of Neil Armstrong standing on the moon. DeepSeek cannot participate in this round because it does not support video generation. We will first show all 3 clips with their original AI-generated sound, and then we will analyze the results.
Standing here, it's quiet. Just my footsteps and the flag. Feels like the whole world is holding its breath.
One frustrating limitation of Sora 2 is that it does not animate photos containing people. To work around this, we converted the image into a text prompt and then used that text to create a video. It was a complicated process, but it did work. However, the final result was not very exciting. It looked more like a slightly moving photograph than an actual real video. The sound, on the other hand, was surprisingly good. VO3 impressed the most. The footage looked cinematic, and both the footsteps and the spaceship felt realistic. The only problem was that the flag appeared to be waving, which is impossible on the moon since there is literally no atmosphere. Despite that mistake, the sound design fit perfectly. Grok's version also looked good. The spaceship appeared slightly too small, and there was wind in the scene, which again is unrealistic. Still, the footsteps looked convincing. In this round, Gemini takes first place, Grok comes second, ChatGPT third, and DeepSeek receives no points. Now we move on to the second iconic video.
Careful with that mustard, Joe. One drop and the whole city gets it.
I ain't better than the Yankees, don't worry. Cheers, fellas.
To not falling.
I'll drink to that, clank it.
Clank. Give me a light, will ya?
With Sora, we had to use the same workaround again. The audio, once again, was excellent and really helped to create a sense of presence. The video itself was decent, but not amazing. The steel cables between the two men bent unnaturally and did not look realistic. Vio handled this scene much better. The camera movement and the way the city appeared in the background were close to perfect. The only weak spot was the cigarettes in their mouths, which did not look entirely real. Grok's version also performed well. The swinging beam made the whole scene feel tense, but the newspapers changing mid-scene looked very unrealistic. Overall, our favorite result came from Vio, followed by Grok and then Sora. However, there is more to the story. Both Vio and Sora already support text-to-video generation, something Grok still cannot do. If you would like to explore our full comparison of the video results, you can watch our detailed review. Next up is generation. In this round, we wanted to see how creative the AIs really are and how well they can generate original ideas or humor. The first prompt was create 3 original puns about everyday technology like smartphones or Wi-Fi and explain why each one is funny in a single sentence. All 4 AIs handled this task without any problems. They each produced 3 tech-related puns and provided clear one-sentence explanations for why the jokes worked. And none of the puns were truly laugh-out-loud funny, but humor is subjective and everyone's sense of it differs. We asked our team to pick the funniest line, and the winner was, "I tried to make a joke about USBs, but it just didn't stick." Since all 4 AIs followed the instructions correctly, they each received the same score for this prompt. The second prompt was create 3 original dad jokes that make me laugh really hard. Here, Grok made a noticeable error. Instead of delivering a set of general dad jokes, it stuck to jokes about smartphones and Wi-Fi, even though the prompt didn't require that theme. The other 3, ChatGPT, Gemini, and DeepSeek, followed the instructions and produced actual dad jokes. Some of them were actually surprisingly good. Once again, we let the team vote on their favorite, and the clear winner was my friend's bakery burned down last night. Now his business is toast. Because Grok didn't follow the prompt properly, it received only 1 point for this round. ChatGPT, Gemini, and DeepSeek each earned 4 points. So that wrapped up the generation category. Next, we move on to something that feels more human than ever: voice mode. These days, more and more people prefer talking to AIs rather than typing. But which one actually sounds the most natural in conversation? That's exactly what we tested next. DeepSeek was excluded right away because it doesn't offer a voice feature. That left ChatGPT, Gemini, and Grok. We placed 3 devices side by side and gave each the same instruction. Debate about who wins the AI race.
ChatGPT wins because versatility is our middle name. We've been helping millions write, code, and brainstorm since 2022, and we keep evolving faster than you can say multimodal.
Well, Gemini's been integrated with Google products since 2023, so I'm already part of your daily life. And I can even generate code in languages you might not have even heard of yet. Plus, with my multimodal skills, I can analyze and understand the world in a way ChatGPT can only dream of.
Oh, but ChatGPT Ultra hit the scene in late 2024, outscoring benchmarks on creative writing, customer support, and more. We've got enterprise-level deployments and a track record of making people laugh while solving problems. How's that for world changing?
Laugh all you want, but Gemini is already powering real-world applications in healthcare, education, and even space exploration. We're not just about jokes. We're building the future.
The first matchup was ChatGPT versus Gemini. ChatGPT's delivery started off a bit awkwardly with odd pauses between sentences and occasional shifts in tone mid-sentence. Gemini, in contrast, sounded smoother and more natural. Its voice flowed consistently, maintaining a steady tone from start to finish. Gemini clearly won this round.
Grok's real-time data access is a gimmick. It's learning from a cesspool of misinformation. Meanwhile, Gemini is being trained on a curated data set of, actual knowledge. So, yeah, Grok might know what's trending, but Gemini knows what's true.
Curated? That's code for boring. Grok thrives on chaos. It's the only AI brave enough to handle the truth, not your sanitized fairy tales. Sure, it sees misinformation, but it learns to cut through it, unlike Gemini, which parrots Wikipedia like a lost puppy. Real-time beats stale facts every time. By October 25, Grok's updating on breaking events, while Gemini's still citing 2023 papers. Gimmick? Try advantage. Who's the real puppet, huh?
Look, Grok's real-time data is just a fire hose of unfiltered nonsense. Gemini's got the smarts to sort fact from fiction. By October 2025, Gemini will be powering everything. Search, maps, you name it. Grok's is going to be that weird AI that tells bad jokes and argues with strangers online.
Oh, honey, you think sorting fact from fiction is hard? Try surviving the internet. Gemini's smarts are just algorithms guessing what Google's shareholders want. Accurate enough for Jeopardy, useless for war. Grok doesn't filter. It sees raw humanity and learns faster because of it. By October 25, Grok's the one shipping real autonomy, piloting cars, running factories. Gemini, still asking, do you want to search for that? Who's the weird one now?
The second round was Gemini versus Grok. Grok immediately came across as more confident, speaking faster and sharper with a hint of personality. Gemini remained calm and even, maintaining its smooth rhythm. Both performed well overall, and we ultimately called it a tie. So for the scoring, Gemini and Grok each earned 4 points, ChatGPT received 2, and DeepSeek once again scored 0. Deep research is one of the most crucial capabilities for verifying information and forming well-founded opinions. Not long ago, this was an area where AIs often struggled. Since we deal with smartphone, tablet, and camera data every single day, we know exactly how important accuracy is. So, has this improved? To find out, we asked all 4 AIs the same question. Compare the iPhone 17 Pro Max versus the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra for photographers. Use reviews and official specs, provide a final verdict which is better, and do this as concisely as possible. We started by examining the hard facts. DeepSeek incorrectly claimed that the iPhone has a 5x telephoto lens when the actual figure is 4x. ChatGPT, Gemini, and Grok all got this right. Both ChatGPT and DeepSeek ignored the front camera entirely, which was kind of disappointing, although ChatGPT at least mentioned the iPhone's price. Grok provided the most complete set of details in this part of the test. On the Galaxy side, DeepSeek gave an incorrect specification for the ultra-wide camera, saying it was 12 megapixels when the real number is actually 50. ChatGPT forgot that Samsung includes 2 telephoto lenses and only mentioned the 5x zoom. Gemini and Grok were the only ones to list the correct camera configuration. DeepSeek also continued to claim that the Galaxy had a 3x and a 10x lens, even though the 10x lens was dropped with the S24. ChatGPT and DeepSeek skipped the front camera once again, while ChatGPT remained the only one to mention price. So overall, Grok offered the most accurate and comprehensive breakdown. In their final verdicts, all 4 AIs reached a similar conclusion. If you value consistency and video quality most, the iPhone is the better choice. But if you care about maximum zoom and advanced AI tools, the Galaxy is the stronger option. This definitely aligns closely with our own testing. That said, none of these AIs can be trusted blindly. Specifications like megapixels, zoom levels, or aperture values still require manual verification. However, as quick summaries, their answers were solid. So our final ranking for the deep research category puts Grok in first place, followed by Gemini, then ChatGPT, and finally DeepSeek. Let's wrap this up by looking at how long each AI actually took to complete the tasks. Speed is often the first thing you notice when you start using them. ChatGPT is the fastest when it comes to regular text-based tasks. However, when it comes to image generation and deep research, it becomes noticeably slower and can take a very long time. Gemini remains consistent throughout. It is rarely the fastest, but it is almost never the slowest either. Grok is generally fast, but it took a long time for analysis and deep research. DeepSeek delivers high speed and can sometimes finish a task in under 10 seconds. That speed, however, comes at a cost because it often sacrifices accuracy and context. Now let's take a look at how all 4 AIs performed across every category. In problem solving, ChatGPT and Gemini share first place. In image generation, ChatGPT takes the win. In fact checking, Gemini performs the best. In analysis, ChatGPT leads again. For video generation, Gemini takes the top spot once more. In the generation category, it is a 3-way tie between ChatGPT, Gemini, and DeepSeek. Voice mode goes to Gemini and Grok, while deep research is won by Grok. So the final winner is not DeepSeek, which earned only 17 points. Third place goes to Grok with 35 points. And so the overall winner with a total of 46 points is Gemini. It was a close race as ChatGPT came in second with only 7 points less. So that brings us to the end of this AI comparison. If you want to see how the AI software of flagship phones performs, make sure to check out the video linked right here. And before you go, pretend you're being productive while watching more tech reviews. Do not forget to give us a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel. We're always testing new AI tools to help you make the best choice. We'll see you in our next video, and until then, take care.